Well, as many of you know, I am home now in Ontario. It was a great day today. I got to go and watch Ollie try out for a baseball team. He did good, did real good. It was nice just to get home. It's always nice to be home, especially under the weird circumstances we had this year in Ontario especially. It's nice to get home and just relax with the family. So I want to take a few minutes to get through these videos. These videos obviously are important this week for a number of reasons. One, they're important every week. I want to make sure everybody's updated and knowing what's going on. But we also have the sales coming up this Friday. So I'm trying my hardest to get these videos done Saturday. We can get them out to everybody Sunday. We have a huge webcast going on Sunday evening at the stable. For anybody to tune in, ask questions, and just see where we're at. What has gone on? What is the plan? What are we planning to do for the sale? We're going to take the sales one at a time this year. We're focused heavily on Ohio for a number of reasons. Obviously, this is the biggest jurisdiction for the stable.ca, and we are going to focus on this sale very much so coming up on Friday morning in Circleville, Ohio. So let's get to the 2-year-olds. This is the 2-year-old list, so let's get to the 2-year-olds, see what's going on. Adrenaline Rush last week. First time we'd see him really beaten in that format. I guess the quarter probably 26-2 or 26-3. Probably played a little bit of a role. Come up a little flat. I'm not so sure he's going to pace 52 anyway, but he looked like he could have been second or third best colt in there had he not been burned up a little bit. Not like Bob, but hey, that's racing and it happens. And I'm sure the horse will bounce back. Barbie's Crown is jogging. She'll begin training, what's today, 10th? Well, I'm just talking to Steve, really. She'll begin training Steve, I would say around, towards the end of the month. Towards the end of the month, Barbie's Crown will start training. Beef and Cheddar, just one of the worst miles I've seen all year out of one of our horses that I thought was going to do well. A really poor mile from him. We got him looked at. His hind ankles were bothering him quite a bit. There's no issues with them other than they were just chronically bothering him. So this is some of the stuff that these horses will get over after their 2-year-old season. Turn them out, let them freshen up, bring them back. Beef and Cheddar, we had some vet work done on him. He will bounce back soon enough. He'll be racing, I assume, next week. Thursday, I believe. This Thursday. Braemar. What about Braemar? Now, if you guys circle all the way back to February, March, and look at any of the videos I made about Braemar, what did I say? You'd see the best form of Braemar show up early fall, late summer. He was just a little immature. You could say he was still underweight, and still is a little underweight. He's so tall now. It was just going to take time for this colt to put it all together. Now, obviously, I couldn't factor in him getting very sick in July and standing in a stall and then trying to put weight back on him. All that was aside from that, but the fact that we could still keep him on schedule to be where we needed him to be when I said he would be there was nothing short of great. So Harry, Johnny, Shelby done a great job with Braemar. Thank you very much. And George took care of him all year. Better's Hope's out in the field now. He's going to remain out in the field for quite a while. We'll bring him back in a bit. Blue Monk is going well now. I suspect he'll be started training by the end of the month for Kevin. Brilliant Corners. A good mile the other night, as I said. Had those ears plugged up and earplugs on him. Probably a little flat the other night. Kind of made front halfway down the lane. Not used to that, really, I would say. Or made front at the half. Not used to that. And ended up being picked off late in the mile by 2 horses. A screaming pro line on the end of the mile. And then another colt picked us off late. But he raced well. I suspect he'll bounce back with a good mile again this week. Broadway Roll. As I said to Kevin, I just want to get her in where she can race in London. A couple of these horses just are going to be overnight raceway horses, and there's a very fair question out there, why weren't they sold like the others? Well, the others had saleable value. They had value, and a filly that's getting beat up at Flamborough, a New York bred filly getting beat up at Flamborough, doesn't carry a ton of value right now. In fact, she undervalues herself. So I'm going to try and get her back up. If we sell her this winter, we sell her, or this fall even. But at the same time, we want to get some miles, some decent lines on Broadway Roll. Cambridge Star's back going now. They say he put on some weight and looks really good. So we'll see how he progresses. Can't Muscle Me is back jogging. We'll continue to keep jogging her right towards the end of the month. Then we'll start turning her and going miles with her. Captain's Maid races for a lot of money on Monday, but she's the longest shot on the board. 20-1 morning line in a 6-horse field going for $40,000. Nevertheless, she trained pretty good the other day. I expect her to race as well as she can. She's in with 2-year-olds. It is the Keystone Classic, so it's an open type event, but it's a watered down division. Make no mistake, when I say watered down, I don't mean it's easy. Don't mistake the two. It's a very tough division, but it's not the top sire stakes horses for sure, by any stretch of the imagination. Carrie Big Stick still jogging. We'll get him started training soon. Cut the Line will start training also soon. She's up at Mario's barn. She's doing well, I'm told. Desperado. Desperado was sold. They're off the list. Desperado was sold on Thursday night on ongate.com. Out. And, you know, it's just time, right? He's worth as much now as he's going to be for a while, and I thought it just made more sense to sell him. Got a little bit less than I thought we got. We got $8,200 for him. I thought he was around a $10,000, $11,000 horse, but it is what it is. Eternity Road still jogging. I told Johnny, you're going to see him start out a little pinchy on that left hind until those scars settle down on his leg, which is fine. So just jog him until he sounds up, and then you can start training him. So whether that's in 3 weeks or 7 weeks, that's when it'll be. So right now, Eternity Road is still jogging, putting work in. First Glance will race this week again. I'll talk to Mario tomorrow about that. I don't know if just racing him right back in the grassroots is the way to go. I mean, he's not going to pace 52. He's not going to pace 53. I think what he paced the other day is what he can pace, and asking him to do more may not be beneficial to him. Is there a better class for First Glance? I don't know. I can't answer that. But I should be able to answer it by the end of the weekend when I get a better look at what's available, what's out there, and what classes are being offered. Fox Valley Britska, I just missed Jason's call a minute ago. He's going to tell me that Fox Valley Britska trained well. I know he is. And we're probably going to race him next week. Where will we race him? It's a great question, Anthony. I think we'll race him either at Northfield on Friday, which is unlikely, unless they put him in late and I can get from the sale in Circleville to Northfield. That's a possibility. More likely would be the Meadows the following Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever they write that class. I have to ask Tim. But Fox Valley Britska will be in to go very, very soon. Frilly Fringes is back jogging now, has been jogging, same type of thing. Start training her at the end of September. Girls with Swirls, same type of thing again. They come in at the same time. She'll start training towards the end of the month. Gray is the New Red is racing Wednesday at Upper Sandusky Fair, and one of my partners on the filly pointed out her stake race is 5 days later. That's not really a big deal. She's fresh. I trained her in 56-4 the other day at the track 57. I would suspect she'll race good at the fair, and then we'll aim to have her ready to go in the first Buckeye. GW Chrome, trained him the other day. Asked Jason, I just need to know how he is the day after I trained him. I trained him rather hard, 1.5 miles, last half in 105. Jason said he was fresh as a daisy and sharp as a tack and sound the next 2 days. So that's good. Holy Chick is training now. She'll be ready later in the fall, I would say end of October type thing. She'll be ready to go. Italian Grid has turned out. We'll bring him back in probably 3-4 weeks. Start getting him ready for the winter also. At Glare AM, James has told me he thinks he can win the 2-year-old maiden with a Glare AM. It's a lie to you, it's a lie to me. But James really likes this filly. He said she's really coming on. Johnny's done a great job with her. She does, I think, I don't want to speak out of turn. I meant to look at this before. I will after. So forget what I'm just about to tell you. You can forget about until I confirm it. I believe she's still eligible to Liberty Bell. No need sending me an email. By the time this is done, I will know for sure. If she is, and she qualifies great, and she looks good leading up to it, if James is confident she can trot 56, 57 at Philly, then I will take her to Liberty Bell. A lot of things have to fall in place. First off, she has to be eligible. Secondly, a lot of things have to fall into place for that to happen. I'm a Lovely Lady will be racing also at Upper Sandusky. She's also eligible at the Meadows on Wednesday. Not much we can do about that. We will race her at Upper Sandusky on Wednesday instead, leading up to her also the Ohio Breeders in Delaware on Jug Week. Why not the Buckeye? I'm going to tell you why. Because Hercules is not eligible. So you take one of the main players of the whole season off the board for that stake race. It makes total sense to have those horses in to go there. I'm Hill on Wheels. He's going to be crowd at the end of September, so at that point you'll need another 4 or 5 weeks before we can do anything with him. You see where we're going with this. It'll be later in the winter 2021 by the time we have him back ready to race. Jazzy Judy, incredible qualifier for her the other day. 2-2 and 3 last quarter, 29 and 3. Spoke to Jim King. She's going to the Meadows Tuesday, where she will be transported from the Meadows to Maryland. Jim King will take over the training of her theoretically on Tuesday afternoon. Jesse Balboa is back now. He's back jogging, just jogging, big Jesse. We'll see what happens with him. Low expectations, but there's nothing wrong with that. We'll see what happens with Jesse over the winter. Keystone Raven is back training also. Mario said she's training good and looks good. Lots of work to do with her yet, so we'll see where we get to with her. Let's Roll On, I suspect when we ship back Italian Grip, Let's Roll On will be on the truck also. 6 weeks is enough for Rolly to fill out a little bit. We'll get him back going, so they've been out 2 weeks. October 9th or 10th, we'll have them back in the barn in Canada. Miss Meringue, we have a fair at Upper Sandusky for the Little Fair Queen. We have one in Delaware, and then that's it for her for the season. 2 races left for Miss Meringue. Mama Knows Best. A little bit of a flat mile the other night. All right, it was. But Miss Mama Knows Best has the last. Now, good question. Do we race her in the last Buckeye with such low chances of making the Buckeye final, or do we put her in the other race where we expect her to do a lot better? I'm going to ponder that this weekend, and I'll get back to you. My Jazz was going to go to Upper Sandusky. I was loving it. I was going to take her to the fair, but instead we only have 2 divisions. We're going with Miss Meringue and I'm a Lovely Lady. This pushes My Jazz into qualifying on Thursday at Ohio. I won't be going with her. I assume Luke Ebersol will probably go with her. I'm going to be at the sale all day Thursday. I cannot commit to racing, qualifying, jogging, training, doing any stalls of any kind on Thursday. I get a big day ahead of me with a lot of videos to shoot on Thursday. No free lunch. Somebody asked, what do we do with him now? It's a good question. Probably race him in the next grassroots. He's still plenty fresh for the autumn series and some overnights. So still lots of racing to do for no free lunch. Yeah, it's kicking the butt that, he didn't get to strut his stuff this year as much as we wanted him to. That curb kept him out of the last the last grassroots, but he's ready to go now. So I suspect he'll be in to go this Thursday in Mohawk. Northern Blizzard's in Tuesday. Great draw for him again. 8. Somebody pointed out 8, 8, 9 are 3 draws for Tuesday. When did they say these would balance out, these bad draws? Because it seems like they never end. It just seems like every week we draw bad in the stake races. I'm a little biased. It's our burn, but love of God. Here's a horse I don't think has ever drawn inside of 8, ever, that I can remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Off-Road Handlebar's back jog. Continue to put weight and jog on this horse. I don't want to start training him until he's got that weight back on him. Perfect Record, I was mulling the idea of taking him to Freehold and racing him in that stake race on the 23rd, I believe. Geez, I just don't know about the timeline there. We'll see what happens with Perfect Record. It's not like it's just the Trixtons. There's a lot of other, there's Muscle Hills that are there for the 2-year-olds this year. So I'm going to see if I can inquire about a list of what horses are eligible. A lot of horses don't pay into that. We'll get a list, like for instance, Rooney Blue Chip. He's going because there's only 5 or 6 that can even enter. So let's have a look. See what Perfect Record, see if he can go or not. There's a good chance he can't, so I wouldn't get your hopes up. Rose Run Why Not raced her heart out the other night, finished 3rd. My God, she's going to be a nice filly. I think even in my mind, I was just asking for too much. She raced her heart out and did things she shouldn't have been able to do the other night. First time away from the farm, first time racing at night, first time truck to a race. Blasted out of the 3-hole like she had immense experience, and she had none. 0. That's what kind of a professional horse this filly is and how much I like her. Set the Mood's back training now. Big horse. He'll be ready to go later in the fall. So Admirable is racing at Mohawk. You got Drew Good, 9. She's another one that has drawn 9 3 times now in her career. I don't think she's drawn Good maybe once, maybe twice, but 3 9s I know for sure this year so far in her life. So, Cyrus Blue Chip is racing in a few hours. I've given Kevin the chance. I think what we'll do is probably shut him down after this race. I would have shut him down this week. Kevin had entered him in to go and got a little vet work done on him. So I would say this will be the end of 2020, at least for now, for Cyrus Blue Chip. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a well-bred colt that's never really been super sound, so hopefully he can get over whatever's bothering him in his time off. Stacy Hanover, Mario told me he trained her in 2.6, going back in 2.3 this week, so that's exciting. Sunshine in May raced good the other night. I told everybody, at some point, her and Broadway Roll will reach a point where, they'll likely be sold, but I don't know if she's there yet. She certainly raced good the other night. Sweet Ambitions, Mario did a great job with her, took the hobbles off her, raced her at Flambeau. She raced great. She's in to go tonight also, so good luck with my partners in Sweet Ambitions. Tanzanite Tricks, a little tricky with Trixie. Her weight count kept spiking. Kevin called me the other day and said, well, we did the snap test and there's zero infection, but her weight count's still 11. We saw this with War We Welcome, with Walk on the Moon. When they get over the virus, this weight count just lingered up a little higher than it should. And at some point, the vet will say, well, maybe they just carry a high weight count. I don't think so. I think there's something going on. And, the high weight count also precipitated poor racing. So you can say they might just carry a high weight, but that's a crock of shit. They don't carry a high weight. Something's going on, and they're just getting over what they're supposed to have already been gotten over, if it makes sense to you. They seem healthy, they look good, they're eating, they don't exhibit any signs of sickness, but look terrible on the track. Then you take their blood and their weight count's high, and the vet says, oh, maybe they just have a high weight. That's a stupid answer. So I don't really believe that that's accurate, but I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to school to be one. From a horseman standpoint, we just have an awful lot of horses that naturally have high weight counts this year, and that's not accurate. I just don't believe it. I think we get a lot of horses that are getting over something. We really can't diagnose what the end of that something is that makes those weight counts stay high, but there's something going on. So hopefully Tanzanite Tricks will bounce that this week. I had told one of our clients, Paul, that she'll be qualifying Tuesday. That's likely not the case. Kevin maybe will have her trained up hard on Wednesday. We're really trying to cobble together a piece of a 2-year-old season with her, but it hasn't been productive. I'll be the first to admit. There has been talent there. That first day she come 28 apiece at Mohawk. I thought she looked great. So there's talent there. We're just trying to get her in the best position to show it and exhibit it. It's not an easy chore so far. That's my girl. Qualified great the other day, 58-2 last quarter, 29 at Northfield. Shouldn't have been able to get around Northfield, but did. That's a weird track. Just some horses that struggle at bigger places bounce around Northfield, no problem. It is a really, really good half-mile track, and quite frankly, a great place to train. Been very happy, and that's my girl. Probably looking for an overnight race from her at Northfield or at the Meadows, and then October 5th will be her next Sire Stakes. I think if she races okay, I think she stays for the consolation in Indiana. She'll make the consolation in Indiana, so we'll see what happens then. Tipsy and Dixie has been great, qualified good again the other day. She must race this upcoming week. Walk on the Moon had injured himself. Now maybe you guys weren't privy to the information, but my partners on the horse certainly were. He had an ulcer on his eye that got infected, and they were quite concerned, and really truthfully, he's not out of the woods yet, where he may lose his eye. It was a very, very serious thing. Took him to the university. They treated him all week with drops right into the ulcer of his eye, and sent him home. And Amy's been caring for him at the barn. She's at the barn right now, treating him and making sure he's okay. But this has been a very, very serious thing. And if you're a horseman out there, you deal with veterinarians or deal with surgeons or universities of any kind. They're very, I don't want to use the word I'm about to use. They're very cautious. So his prognosis for a full recovery on that eye quickly is guarded. It's not optimistic. It's not, likely. It's not pessimistic. It's not bad or poor. It's guarded, which is really, I guess, a medical way of saying it's a coin flip. From here on in, he's going to have to be treated. When he can start back his work, when he will race, I can't answer that. I don't know, and I don't think anybody can except for the horse. So we'll see how his treatment progresses over the next week, and then we'll go from there. Where we was up, really just time off, right? He get injured, and he'll be back next spring. So whatever we do in the meantime, whether it's a medication or they were going to do an operation on him, Dr. McKee hasn't made up her mind totally yet how she wants to progress, and the time off is needed anyway. So there's no hurry to get anything done with where we was up. We know what the issue is. We know what the prognosis is. It's pretty good. And we'll go from there with him. War We Welcome is back jogging now. I know Aunt Mario was looking for maybe some direction on what her plans were, but that'll be up to her. I'm done watching her race subpar, right? We know how good a filly she is. I'm done watching her race poorly, and it's not Mario's fault. The filly gets scoped on. It's easy to, Mario gets shit on a lot at the barn. I got to be honest. A lot of our clients just don't give him the respect he deserves, and their answer to that can be, well, he doesn't deserve it because he hasn't earned it. He earns it because I told you he earned it. He's one of our trainers. He works diligently. He works very, very hard. And, he's had bad luck. Walk on the Moon still made $32,000 this year. Did we think he'd make 3-4 times that? Yeah, I certainly did. It didn't work out that way. Same went with I'm a Lovely Lady in Ohio. Thought she was, I know she's our best filly in Ohio. I know she's our fastest filly in Ohio. Her and Rose Run, why not? One horse has got what, 2,000 made, and the other one 20. Then you got Little My Jazz, who, don't get me wrong, is a nice filly. But in a straight up foot race with at least 2 or 3 of the fillies we have, she's going to lose. But she found a way to take a better mark and make more money. She's, yes, with a vagina in 2020. That's what My Jazz is. So War We Welcome, always scoped with allergy mucus, just enough that we were certain we could get her by. We could treat her, we could help her, we could race her. And just always poor. You know, just weak. And you know why? If War We Welcome's weak, your first qualifier should come 28 seconds before all these allergies hit, right? You saw all our best miles. No free lunch. 56, 26 seconds on the end of it. You know, he hasn't come back to that just yet. In fact, he looked poor his last start in Sarnia. So, War We Welcome, I just want her good. So, if we skip the grassroots, I really don't care, to be honest. I don't think she's in, she's in a position to make the semifinals anyway, with 1 left, I believe. There's 1, I think, maybe 2. But she does have some major stake races left later on. So what I would like to see, I'd like to see her come back out swinging as the War We Welcome we saw in June. And whatever comes of that, comes of that. That's where I'm at with War We Welcome. Well and Down is racing in Upper Sandusky Wednesday. She looks like she's going to make, no, she doesn't look like she is making the final for the Buckeye, I believe. There is one more, I suspect, so maybe I'm wrong, but I think she's in good position to make the Buckeye final. And then One My Heart Hour is back jogging. She'll begin training again, same as the other fillies, at the end of the month. So that's all the 2-year-olds. Geez, you know, when I look at it, stake winners are horses that have done well this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I can honestly say 26 horses out of the 50 that are on this sheet either took marks, won stake races, took marks, or just look like they're going to be impressive 2-year-olds heading into the 3-year-old season. So I guess that's what most of these horses qualified. I would say are right around a negative, around a 50 to 60 % clip for horses that have done well this year. So I guess that's not fair. I guess it depends on how you judge well, right? If you judge I'm a Lovely Lady as a failure this year, then fine, that's on you. I judge her as a success. I think she could have done more, but she could have done a lot less, and she showed she's got a lot of gumption, a lot of trot, and a lot of money to still race for in Ohio. So I guess it's all about the eye. It's in the eyes of the beholder, as they say. So I believe I'm happy with the way the 2-year-olds turned out. Happy with the year 2020 in general. We're having a great run all summer. And heading into the biggest sale of the year, I think we're positioned well, and I'm very happy. So, again, we have the webcast on Sunday. You guys can send an email to Kelly at thestable.ca, or she will have a link on these videos for Sunday. She will have a link for you guys to click on to sign up to become members of the webcast for Sunday night, and they'll give you an opportunity to ask a question at that point. So, those are all the 2-year-olds. I will come back with the barns. I am trying to fix this barn sheet. It is a dog's breakfast, because just so many horses moved. So, I'll be back in a minute with the barns. Take care.